Okay, let's just put it straight into sport mode. Turn the ESC off because that's just what you do when you drive a hot hatch. Put it into the S mode, hit one of the paddles, manual, and floor it. You can't really mention the phrase hot hatch without at least thinking about the Volkswagen Golf GTI. This pretty much pioneered the hot hatch segment in terms of being a practical but fast hatchback. Here I've got the 2025-2026 model, lightly updated, little styling tweaks here and there, new 19-inch alloy wheels, and more power under the bonnet. It's still a 2-litre turbo 4-cylinder engine, but now it produces 195 kilowatts, up from 180. It's matched to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic with a front-wheel drive system featuring a trick differential. It looks as conservative as it always has been. That's one of the sort of qualities of the Golf GTI. Very reserved, subtle, but still enough sporty elements to stand out from the rest of the Golf range. In this particular color, the red, you don't get to pick up some of the highlights, such as the red painted brakes and red badging for the GTI logo. Its main competitor is the Hyundai i30N hatchback. You could say the Honda Civic Type R as well, being front-wheel drive, but that's more of a super hatch, probably more focused on track work, whereas you could step up to the Golf R, although that does turn into all-wheel drive. That's more of a direct rival to the Civic Type R. In that sense, this segment is not very busy. There aren't many rivals out anymore in terms of being a fast but practical hatchback. Ford used to have the Focus ST, there was the Renault Megane RS, and even the Peugeot 308 GTI. Is this formula still appealing? Well, I think it is. The interior is as practical as a regular Golf, although it does have these big bucket seats, which do take up a little bit of room, I guess, compared to the normal Golf seats. They're power adjustable in this specific test example. You have good practicality around the console, wireless phone charger in the front there, although I couldn't get my phone to work because it didn't quite fit on the pad. And you've got these swirl around cup holders, or cup holder, and a center folding armrest. Excellent driving position once you're inside as well. These seats hug me in nicely, and they've got soft bolsters on the side so they're not, poking you in the back. And then a good view. I like the way Volkswagen does fit carpet for its door pockets there, so whatever you put in there doesn't rattle around, plastic against plastic kind of thing. If you've got a bottle or whatever in there, then you've got a bit of space between the mirror and the pillar, so you can see out or see through there quite easily. It's not intimidating. You're not, oh, what's behind there? You can kind of make out what's going on. There's a little window, triangular window hidden down in the corner. So if there is something there, you'll see it in some shape or form. There's my line of sight just there. So I've got good view, relatively tall windows compared with some hatchbacks and even coupe-like SUVs and sedans. And out the back, a nice view. The C-pillar or D-pillar at the back corner there is pretty thick, but it's not as thick as some modern vehicles out at the moment. The headrests do poke up a bit, so if they're lifted up even higher, then you're going to block a bit more view. But general visibility is good, and you know that rear windscreen just drops straight down, so you know the back of the car is right there. And up the front here, we've got Volkswagen's latest touchscreen system. I'm not a huge fan of just the usability of it. It kind of just creeps into my view. There's my sort of line of sight, and it's just poking up slightly. I don't like it when screens kind of interfere. I get it though, they want to mount them higher so you don't have to look down at something, but at the same time, I don't think it should take up any of your view, whereas that just right on the corner. But some of the functionality is a little bit, I don't know, cumbersome, I guess. Like you've got these buttons down here which take you to various sections. So you've got climate and all that, the driving mode. But for example, I was driving through Macca's the other day and the parking sensors were going off. So I'm looking around everywhere. Normally vehicles have a single button, parking sensors off. And it's going beep, 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 beep constantly. So you've got to dive into the screen and hunt around. I mean, you will get used to this sort of stuff once you live with it for a while. But as with any vehicle with a kind of screen takeover like this, I just think it makes it more distracting than just having physical buttons. I do like that it does have these volume buttons here, and you can kind of swipe them to fast track what you want to do, up or down. Then you've got temperature control just there as well, but no fan speed. And for some reason, every time you start the vehicle, you get this message: for safety reasons, please always follow the traffic regulations. Now, I thought you had to do that in order to get your driver's license. I don't know why the vehicle has to remind us of that. But anyway, there are a few messages and warnings and stuff that pop up. Not really Volkswagen's fault, it's just the latest regulations. But I do like the way you can just jump into vehicle, turn the interior monitor off. Although that's not really the driver monitoring camera, but you can turn the stop start off and you can go into the assist page, which is always up here. And you can turn the lane keep assist off, driver attention monitor or drowsiness monitor, and things like that. So you can go through pretty quickly and flick things off. Then you've got your drive modes with Eco, Comfort, Sport, and an individual mode, so you can customize the different parameters to your liking. I do like the way you've got this apps page here, which is just a grid layout, very traditional and easy to understand format. Go through and go into the different apps that you want to fiddle around with. Then you've got a fully digital instrument cluster. You can change around the view a little bit. I do like that, it's not too bad. You've got a boost gauge, I've got set it on the left hand side, then your G meter on your right hand side, but you can change all that. You've got a number of different options to figure out what you want to display. And up at the back here, reasonably practical. You've got 2 cup holders or 2.5 cup holders, and you've got some climate controls down there with separate vents. Nice little pockets in the back so you can put your phone or whatever, that's pretty handy, and a big pocket down below. Nice big door, bottle holders in the doors, again with the carpet lining, and then decent headroom and legroom for this class. I mean, it might not be the biggest hatchback in this class, but it's definitely practical enough for what the dimensions kind of suggest. I've got a reasonable amount of legroom in my seating position, so if that was to come back a little bit, it'll get quite close to my knees. But my head's nowhere near the ceiling actually, it's not even close. Even getting out, I've got plenty of clearance there to get out without banging my head. Nice leather trim in the back as well, matching the front seats. You're not just relegated to a lesser luxury back here, and they're kind of bolstered. You might not be able to see that on camera, but that sticks out a bit to give you some lateral support. Then you've got a little ski port so you can access the boot if you want to poke some skis through the middle. And up at the back, surprisingly spacious boot, although again, not the biggest for a hatchback in this class. Certainly enough for the weekly shopping, picking up the kids and so on. You've got a space saver spare under the floor there, and it is a dual level floor, so you can drop this board down a level if you want to maximize the space. Got little pockets on the side to stop things rolling about. A 12-volt socket hidden up there, and then some tie-down points and hooks on the top of the suspension towers. All right, let's go for a drive. I'm keen to see how this new uprated engine goes. 195 kilowatts. Is it going to be too much power for the front wheels? Although the i30N hatchback produces 206 kilowatts, I think, so 10 or roughly 10 more kilowatts, and it does just fine. It'll be down to that clever differential at the front and the suspension as well, I suppose. Okay, let's just put it straight into sport mode. Turn the ESC off, because that's just what you do when you drive a hot hatch. Put it into the S mode, hit one of the paddles, manual, and floor it. So Volkswagen has got some clever sound coming through. Now, I can't quite tell if it's fake sound. I know there is some fake sound, but they've really crafted it so it sounds like the induction sound of an old Golf GTI, basically. You've got that really throaty, roary soundtrack. But yeah, I think some of it is enhanced with artificial sound. I think it does sound pretty good though, either way. Like it's got that really, coarse, throaty soundtrack going. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, and makes it more fun to drive. Although, it would be even better if that was just natural sound, but I just don't think they can make that a natural sound these days with all the emissions gear and filters and all that sort of stuff choking it up. You just can't get that old school, naturally aspirated carburetor style of soundtrack, so they have to enhance it with, or enhance it artificially. Not my cup of tea, but I think in terms of artificial enhancement, this does sound pretty good. Awesome diff at the front, it never lets away. Inside wheel spin. It's just pulling me around the corner. You can feel the steering tugging a little bit in a fun kind of way. It's not as hardcore as the i30N, but it's still very fast and refined though. Then that's probably what's puts this above the i30N. If there's any area where this was above it, it's kind of refinement and smoothness, whereas the i30N is, yeah, very hardcore. The suspension is firmer than this, even in this sport mode. This is not bouncing me around too much. Not that the i30 is, you know, ridiculously firm. It is, yeah, stiffer than this. That's not to say this is a sort of tame hot hatch. This is still quite aggressive. It knows what I'm up to. And it's fast, like it's pulling me along just fine up this hill. Railing around the corner, that's full throttle. It is a little bit annoying that it upshifts automatically, even in manual mode. In sport mode, with the ESC off, it won't bounce off the rev limiter, which is not ideal if you're on the track or even on a road like this, because you might come around a corner or come up to a corner and you know you're about to hit the brakes, but this will upshift, or it can upshift at the wrong time. So then you've got to downshift 2 gears instead of 1. Yeah, very sure-footed, safe, but still playful enough. I can feel the back end moving around a little bit if I provoke it, like lift off, oversteer a little bit, or jam on the brakes actually, and kind of pivot the back around on the nose. So you do have a little bit of suspension movement there to have some fun. But yeah, this has definitely got all the ingredients of a hot hatch. Plenty of feel through the steering, nice sporty suspension, a noisy engine that's also powerful and fun, responsive as well. It doesn't have any turbo lag that I can feel. The gearbox is very responsive. Pull the paddle and it changes straight away, aside from those upshifts that automatically happen if you get too high in the revs. Excellent grip from the front end too, by the way. Yeah, that's pretty good around there. It's definitely lots of fun. It's definitely got plenty of capability. Even over this bumpy section, it's not bouncing me around, which usually happens with short wheelbase vehicles. This is remaining very controlled and manageable. Yeah, that's awesome. This is one of those cars you just want to take out on a Sunday morning, nice and early, by yourself, go to your favorite deserted road and just give it a good thrash. Awesome pull in 3rd gear actually for this size engine. You can see that boost gauge maxing out at about 2.2 bar. That's pretty much 30 PSI or more. Yeah, lots of fun. The Golf GTI remains as one of the best all-round hot hatches in my opinion. Very dynamic, but still refined enough to go to work every day. Like, I'll just put it back into the D mode for the transmission. We can put it back into comfort mode. Apart from the kind of basic exhaust note, this is pretty much a standard Golf. All right, let's head out now and do the performance test and see what it goes like with that uprated engine output.